Hey guys, Andrew with GNS Outdoors, and what I want to do is take a quick minute to let you know why we changed this YouTube page from A&A Outdoors to GNS Outdoors. And the reasoning behind that is A&A Outdoors is a Instagram page that my wife and I started to share our adventures in the outdoors and with each other as we've gone through our marriage. And the GNS page is all our family and friend adventures that we do, and a lot of the videos that we've posted have been inclusive of the GNS more than just my wife and I. So figured we'd rebrand this page to be the GNS Outdoors page. If you want to know more about that, you can swing over to Instagram and find us there. I can link it in the description of our YouTube page and our bio, so you can check that out. You can check out A&A Outdoors as well as GNS Outdoors. And what we just want to do is focus A&A to be just my wife and I and the adventures that we do, and then we'll use GNS for everything else. GNS will also have posts from my brother Matt, my dad Gib, and our family friend Ron, who are the four main core of GNS. We've got several other people that do a lot of adventures with us, so they'll be featured throughout the videos and the Instagram page as well. So without further ado, I'm going to kick you into this series we're doing where we're taking a 1972 pontoon boat and turning it into a bow fishing boat, since I sold mine to build a bigger boat to allow more friend adventures within GNS Outdoors. So without further ado, let's kick into that video. Sorry if the wind noise is bad today, it's quite windy, but I previously did a video where I showed how I built my 16-foot John boat into a bow fishing boat. Didn't have anything of actually building it, but I did a walkthrough of what I did once everything was complete to the way I liked it. So yesterday I drove 12 hours round trip to get myself a new boat. Found a really good deal, couldn't pass it up. And so now I'm doing a new budget build, except this time on a bigger boat. Last boat, like I said, was a 16-foot John. This time I got a 20-foot pontoon. So I bought this boat yesterday, got a really good deal on it. Hoping to sell my boat here soon so I can get this thing in the garage and really start working on it. I came out today, now that it's daytime, because I got home in the dark last night. I'm going to get the seats off, a couple other things, because we're expecting some heavy snow this weekend. I want to get all that off so I can try to sell them if there's any use to them, because I'm not going to use them for my build. I'll go into that later once I actually get the build done. But what I got is a 20-foot pontoon. It's got a center lift trailer on it, and it needs some work. It's quite covered in salt from driving through snow getting it, but this is just a quick walkthrough. It's a Harris float boat is the model. I believe it's like a 1972 pontoon boat, the frame and pontoons anyway. The motor is I believe a 1991 Evinrude. So I'll be doing some work to that to get it operational again. Apparently it's got a fuel problem, but it's got some extra parts, so I'll be fixing that. But the pontoon itself is in great shape as far as the tunes themselves and the cross members and the frame. It's all in really good shape, so pretty much everything's coming off. I'm going to strip the deck and actually extend the deck slightly so it clears the end of the pontoons to be flush. I don't know if I'm going to take it all the way to the end or stop it right before these eyes. I got to kind of play with that, figure out what I want to do, but that'll come while I'm building it. So I'm going to get up on top, give you a little walkthrough. Not much to it. It's what I was looking for, is a pretty much stripped boat already. There's none of the normal pontoon seats you'd see on it. It's got a couple pedestal seats. Like I said, those are all coming off. I'm going to take all them off so that way I can have more open space, and I'm going to use a different method for seating, which, like I said, I'll show you that once I'm actually building it. As you can see, the center console needs some work. I'm going to be rebuilding that, reinstalling everything that's on there, and I'll have a nicer looking console. Might keep the steering wheel. It's kind of a neat steering wheel. But like I said, this is what I bought. This is just the start. I'm going to be stripping this whole thing down, deck and everything. The deck's actually in good shape, but there's so much peeling, it's not going to be worth my time to try to sand everything and redo it. I'm just going to recover it. So like I said, whole deck's getting recovered, and I'll walk you through step by step and bring you with me on this thing. But this is just an opening. Probably a couple weeks before I really get to do much on it, because I said I still got to sell my boat. But as soon as I get mine sold, I'll be picking up these videos again, and we'll be able to see where this is going to go. I'm really excited to build this, and can't wait to see what the finished project's going to be. So
stay tuned and we'll see what else comes with it. Alright, little update here. I took all the seats off, as well as I got the trolling motor off the back. I'm going to sell that so I can buy a bow mounted trolling motor. I said as far as the seats went, there was 3 of them I can probably try to sell because I'm not going to be putting them back on the boat like I said earlier. I took the radio out underneath that black cover. There's like car radio, there's speakers, you can see the holes. So I pulled all that so I can bench test it, see if it's still working. If it is, I'm going to incorporate that into my new console build I'm going to do. But as for now, this is how it's going to sit for a while. Once this weather starts to break and I sell my boat, hopefully in the next month, we'll be able to start punching this thing out, get the deck up, get a new deck down on it, extend it like I said, and then from there I'm going to have a big platform and my imagination to work with. So I'll keep you guys posted on it. I'll keep posting stuff as the time comes, but as for now, this is where it's sitting. We'll see how it goes from here. Alright, so here goes day 1, boat disassembly. Today's goal, we got it in the garage, so we're just going to try to get all the railings off, and then tomorrow we'll be working on deck and the console. So roll the time lapse. Alright, so there we go. Day 1, got all the aluminum stripped off. Had to do some grinding, some sawing, all kinds of stuff, but we got it all. Started messing with the console a little bit, got the steering wheel off. That's going to be a job for tomorrow, so tomorrow we'll get rolling on this thing, get the console off, get the deck off. Hopefully my welder's here so we can start working on the cross members, which we've got new rubber to cover the floor, and my cross members over here, so we're ready to go. Just waiting on a generator at this, or not a generator, a welder at this point. So that's where we're at. Alright guys, so we're back here. It's day 2 for deconstruction of the pontoon. As you saw yesterday, we took all the fencing off. Fencing is all here. I got to get some of these things off. I'm going to get the cleats off, some of these other tie down points, and use them on the new build that I'm doing. But all this is just going to be junk. I'm also going to get the rod holders off. I can incorporate those into the build as well. But now we've just got the plywood and the center console left on this boat. I'm going to be redoing all the wiring, so all little wires and stuff that you see sitting around, they're all going away. So we've got a lot to work on. Still waiting on a welder. Haven't heard if it's in yet, so might have to delay this by a week or so if they don't get it into me today. But we're taking all the cross members off, so all that's got to come off along with the plywood. We've got some work we can do in the meantime before we're putting the new aluminum cross members on this thing. One other thing that we're going to do is actually extend the deck out to the end here. We're going to leave these rings on as tie downs so that way we can still use them. We're going to bring the deck pretty much flush with the ring or about the edge. That way it helps protect the pontoon a little bit. We don't have any accidental shoots straight through the pontoon, because when you're bow fishing, things can happen, and I don't want any chance at something hitting the pontoon. So that's one thing that's going to happen, is the deck's getting extended out. It's going to extend the deck out about 18 inches, give or take, so it'll give us a decent amount. As far as fencing goes, to redo the fencing, I'm not going to do the standard pontoon fencing like you see on most boats. This is going to have one single light system that's going to go all the way around the boat. It's going to be about 14 inches tall. So that's all you're going to have all the way around. There's going to be 6 lights down each side, 4 across the front, and then on the back I'm going to have 2 lights on either side of the motor, as well as 1 on each corner looking off to the side of the boat. So those 4 lights will be on their own switch, the front 4, and then each side will all be individually switched, so that way you can turn everything off as needed. That's obviously down the road a ways. So today, my dad should be here pretty soon. We're going to get everything unhooked from the console, pulled down, fished back, and taken out, so that way it's all sitting back here by the motor. And once we get my other motor sold, I've got a motor, somebody's coming to look at it today actually, so hopefully this afternoon that one gets sold. Then we can get that motor off and onto my motor stand to actually do the work we got to do to that. A couple things we got to do to it to get it running, but I knew that going into it, so be a pretty simple, hopefully simple rebuild on that. But got a lot of cool stuff for you coming up, so we'll do a little more time lapse as we continue stripping this down to the frame. And like I said, we're putting new aluminum cross members on, so that's going to get done as soon as I get a welder and can actually weld the aluminum, because we got to make some repairs. If you look under here, you can see some of these, like that one is bent and cracked, this one's cracked off, so we got to repair some of that aluminum prior to putting the new cross members on. So got a lot of work to do, like I said, and we're going to take you every step of the way, so that way you can see how this build goes. Trying to do this as budget friendly as possible, but a lot of the material is not cheap right now. The marine grade plywood for the deck was paid like $103 a sheet for it. I need 5. The cross members were not cheap. I've got 10 cross members in those 2 cardboard tubes. They were about 50 bucks each. So it's going to be a fun build. I can tally it up. I can give all the information as to what I used. I'll put links to things so you can see exactly what I used as we go. But that's just an overview of what we're doing now. I'm going to set up time lapse. I'm going to get all the, like I said, all the cleats stuff off of the rails here, so that way I can reuse them into my new build. But I'll just set this thing up, do a time lapse, and I'll pick the camera up here in a little bit. Alright, so we got the deck off.
Wood out there.
Yeah.
Came off pretty easy.
Yep, deck came off easy. Wasn't, a lot of the stuff was real rusted. We took a couple of them, we just did a hole saw. You can see it there. We used a hole saw to just cut around the screws that were all rusted and we couldn't move. So deck is now off. Now we're pretty much limited to just waiting on our welder to get here, because pretty much everything else we got to do at this point is welding. But might be able to get started on that motor here soon. If the welder's not here, we can start working on the motor once we sell the other one. So that's where we're at for now.